Okay, looking ahead in this clip a bit, and I'm most definitely going to be fast-forwarding through a majority of the boss fight we're going to be getting into. This boss is quite the damage sponge, and I certainly am not in the mood to go through a 35-minute clip here. Sure, part of me feels a bit guilty for fast-forwarding through a boss that I haven't been frustrated by to the same degree as the speed boost guy, but still. Right, there's our temple. I suppose we could immediately just shove the keys into place and get the long fight started immediately, but I'm curious what's behind the other regular door in this room. Not sure why we need to go into Morph Ball mode for a bit to enter this room, or why the thing to activate the healing field is in a spot we couldn't really shoot until we were directly on top of it. Anyway, seems we've got an ammo recharge station here for some reason. Couldn't hurt since we aren't topped off, though it looks like there's also a green door we can get through before we get to the boss fight area. So I maybe should have saved coming to the ammo replenishment room for after that. It's not really a big deal, but it's still worth a bit of a chuckle. Okay, so that tunnel is a bit more awkward to get to, or I was just an impatient bastard with the transforming bit here. Impatience seems to be a major thing for me this far into the game. Still, we got a new energy tank just before dealing with the next boss. That's good news. Not that I'm expecting us to lose all of the tanks we had before we grab this, if we have a healing field in the room we're fighting the next boss in. Still, in case it turns out to be tougher than I expected, it's nice to have a little bit of extra safety net, so we don't have to try this fight multiple times. Possibly a bad sign that turned on the faucet and now we've got acid flowing. But then we already know there's gonna be a boss here. Right. Large pool of acid all around us. For some reason I'm getting flashbacks of fighting the Pred Alien in the 2010 Alien vs. Predator game. Right. So we need to throw the cocoon into the acid, which will force the boss to be born. Not the strangest thing we've ever done in this franchise, but still a little odd. Right, so the only way to break those things holding the cocoon up are missiles and the charge beam. I think I'll stick with the charge beam. Okay, I was not expecting the cocoon to just send a caterpillar into the acid, or that the caterpillar would somehow be able to swim that fast through it. I suppose that's what I get for thinking we'd go straight to fighting some kind of butterfly or whatever kind of bug that thing was going to turn into once it was done with the whole chrysalis thing. Hell, maybe caterpillar/maggot isn't the right word for it, since it's clearly meant to be a swimmer. But I'm not too familiar with aquatic bugs like that. The only water bug I know about is the dragonfly, and that's mostly got to do with the overly traumatic name it has, rather than actually knowing anything of substance about it. Okay, so the bug thing releases some kind of suicide plant things at us. I know it's a fictional creature, and it's not supposed to make biological sense of any kind. Most of the things in this franchise don't. Still, can you blame me for being a little surprised by that, or annoyed that it took so little damage when we shot it in its blatant weak point? Well, of course it's immune to the acidic water around here. It was formed on this death world. Now, let's get the fast forwarding started in this fight. This is a multi-form boss fight, and the bastard just had to be an absolute damage sponge at every point. Fighting this thing takes up most of the damn clip, and again, with the healing fields, it's hard to feel especially scared while dealing with the massive bastard. Okay, so it doesn't seem like the light beam really does all that much extra to him compared to the power beam. And I'm not even gonna bother with the dark beam against this guy. Missiles aren't all that good against him either. Again, it feels kind of like the charge beam is getting a good deal more exercise in this game than the first Metroid Prime, though maybe that's just my memory playing tricks on me. It's just so strange that the base design for a good number of the bosses in this game is actually pretty damn good in comparison to the bosses from the first Metroid Prime. It's just that many of the game design aspects that go along with them just aren't up to snuff, at least in my opinion. Well. We did a good amount of damage when the big guy rested against our platform for some reason. I suppose that's an encouraging amount of damage. I guess he was trying to pull us into his mouth, but I don't see how that's anything more than just saying, I want to eat some gunfire. Please, shoot me here. Anyway, I'm just using the dark beam to gain more light beam energy. Not really a surprise, but it's not an option I can pull for the rest of the fight, since sooner or later, I'm going to need to replenish our dark energy as well. The overall amount of ammo we can carry just isn't enough for a proverbial wall like this. Nearly done with this stage of the fight. I wish I could say I'm looking forward to the next stage. Instead, I'm just looking in horror at the amount of raw footage for the fight and noticing that the second form is going to take me about 4 times longer to deal with than the goddamn caterpillar. Right, on to the second form then. I've got to admit, up to the point when the ground split apart, I was actually expecting this fight to be done already. My mistake. It's not that the thing we just killed changed forms. It's another chrysalis on the wall decided to burst open as a flying monster that matures the instant that we finish killing the immature version of the same species. Bit of an understandable error there, especially since we cannot fight the second one until we destroy the first, and the way they arrange things makes it feel like we're fighting one boss that decided to transform, instead of 2 sequential bosses back-to-back in the same area. Now, while our scanner claims that the big guy can be damaged by the dark beam, he is just way too fast for us to be able to hit him with it. So I'm just gonna have to take him down the slow and grindy way, all while trying to stay inside of the healing fields as much as possible. Okay, so when we stun the damn bug, we need to swing in order to get a better angle to actually inflict damage while it's stunned. Isn't this fight bullshit enough without pulling crap like that? Right. Of course he shakes off the stun the moment I decide to pull out the dark beam instead of just rapid firing the power beam into one of those damn wings. Still, credit where it's due. In this form, the damn bug knows how to cause as much damage as possible, certainly outdoing the caterpillar form in terms of pressure. Hell, I'd better figure out how to better avoid damage from this bastard at the very least. With this kind of exchange rate, even the healing fields and the sheer amount of energy tanks we've got isn't going to be enough to take us to the end of this meat grinder. Oh, for fuck's sake. You've got to be kidding me. I didn't manage to do any damage to him in that round. How the hell did I not even remember this boss existed if he's gonna pull this level of supreme bullshit? Granted, it's not Boost Guardian levels of cheap ridiculousness, but still, the combination of durability and very difficult to hit at the right angle for the weak points is not endearing this thing to me. I was vaguely tempted to say the reason it's called Chaka is because some playtesters chucked their controllers in frustration dealing with this guy. But, I'm not 100% convinced they had too many playtesters for this game, considering all the issues I've had with it. Okay, apparently he completely forgot to attack us back in that particular round. And of course, only the power beam seems to be able to let us actually inflict damage on his health bar, even if it takes hundreds upon hundreds of bloody shots to do so. Because with the way he shakes around and the small size of the section of wing we have to shoot, well. At least padding out a boss fight like this is less obnoxious to me than the whole key hunt padding we've had to deal with for the entire game. Right, 3 wings down and 1 to go, but we've still got a very significant amount of health bar to deal with as well. Apparently we need to stun him again before we're done shooting at those very small sections of wing. We were literally 1 hit away from solving that in the previous attempt. Excuse me for groaning in absolute annoyance. It's even more annoying that we have to scan it through every stage of this fight. Anyway, now it's capable of giving birth so it can attack us with its young that don't even vaguely look like the caterpillar thing we have to destroy before we got to fighting the flying bastard. Okay, so we gained some light energy, some fresh missiles, and some fresh health for destroying the young versions of this thing with just the basic power beam. I'm tempted to say this part of the fight feels a good deal more forgiving. Still, the way that 1 weak point sways around is really not doing that trigger finger any favors. Again, this boss is rather obnoxious, even if I don't feel afraid it's going to be able to kill us at this point. Why did I even bother to come in close to use the light beam on the bastard? I don't think it's actually speeding things up all that much here. Okay, maybe it did. I'm pretty sure the big guy just changed forms to some degree again. Son of a bitch! We're back to the annoying wing shooting crap we did in the first part here. I would have preferred if the previous two stages managed to bring down all of its health rather than just half, so we have to go through those two phases again. Granted, there's probably little additions to these gimmicks to give it a little more attack variety in each form, but come on. The power beam might be inexhaustible, but my hands can't keep this sort of crap up forever. Especially when my brain is having a hard time considering this thing a true threat to us. Especially now that we're going through this form again. So I'm probably relaxing to a degree in the middle of this boss battle. And we're back to having all of our energy tanks, even if we aren't back to full health yet. This is not how a tense and epic boss battle should feel in the second half of it, but I literally feel like we've got this guy's number and the threat is effectively gone. He just doesn't know it yet. I never really felt that way for any of the boss fights in the 2D part of the franchise, but then I suppose none of those fights were ever this kind of drawn-out slugfest. And we never had any healing fields to stand in while fighting a damn boss, steadily repairing damage even if it's not at the same rate the enemy can bring it down. That's it, we're on the final phase of the fight. A phase that is a form we've already pounded on. Somehow the light beam feels more effective this time than last time the bastard decided to start throwing his own young at us. And why have I just been referring to this bug enemy as a he at some point, when he's been given birth and throwing his young at us as an attack? Is it the fact that this species seems to be monogendered, so both sets of pronouns should work? And that does it! The second Temple Guardian is finally down! Bloody hell, even fast-forwarded that fight felt like it took forever. Right, so the three metal islands decide to become one again at the end of the battle. That's about as arbitrary as the acid draining for no visible reason, other than we killed the flying hostile that served as the boss, and we need a way out of this room. Apparently after all that, we've earned an extra visor mode. Ah well, at least it wasn't something especially insulting, like an upgrade that lets us run around in the acid with no damage whatsoever, when then it turns out we have no more acid to worry about in the game. No, I'm never gonna forgive the whole gravity boost bullshit in this game. So the flying one's corpse remains, but the caterpillar one we destroyed before, that doesn't. Ugh. Why do I have the feeling the game designers forgot that it was two separate creatures instead of just one very drawn-out boss fight with two major forms, and the second one had two alternating minor forms? Right. Of course the first thing we're gonna do with our new visor is find the suddenly invisible platforms to find our way up. As if I didn't feel the game threw enough arbitrary crap at us for the sake of it. Ah well, at least it's not a method of slowing us down. I can't help feeling I'm just not a fan of this visor mode though. Especially what it does to the visuals around us. Not that the visuals in this game were anything especially amazing, but yikes. Am I just way too spoiled by the Batman Arkham games and the Detective Vision or something? doubt there's going to be anything different about us drawing the energy from this temple compared to the first one. And since the Ing didn't really do anything other than throw a few extra grunts to stop us from getting to the Light Temple after we took from the previous Dark Temple, I'd say we should be in the clear. Still, just to be perfectly safe, we're gonna go to the absolute next save point I can reach. There is no way I'm gonna go through that damage sponge again if I can help it. And again, we see no actual sign that what we did just made this version of the world more unstable, and we're not going to see anything that really gives us the sense that pushing this energy back into regular aether is going to make that world more stable. That said, we still technically went through a good milestone in this game, and I'm pretty satisfied for the moment. 2 temples down, 1 to go. Now, to do an annoying but necessary bit of backtracking in order to get access to the 3rd sector of the planet. Yeah, the save point really isn't that far from here. Definitely a mercy. Okay, apparently I decided to go to the ammo replenishment station before the save point for some reason. There's not really much of a delay, but when I'm here on commentary instead of with the controller in my hands, even a delay this short is a bit on the annoying side when I just want the damn clip to end. We have done more than enough to call it a day. Ugh. Hope nobody minded the fact that I fast-forwarded through the vast majority of that rather long fight, but again, I really didn't want this clip to end up as 35 minutes.